started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. And Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
Assalamu alaikum, Sammy, my evil white brother.
Brother Leon.
Brother Sammy, you about to figure out how evil and terrible we whitey are?
Let's do it.
Before we do it, gotta address some things real quick. Nadia, friend of the channel. I try to do your thing and my hat just comes right up. Coming out within 5 words of paradise. Skip these before the show even started. Absolute mad lass. But then Jake Martin joins in as well as CFH90. So here's the deal. CFH90, Jake Martin, we got a clip for you. And then for Nadia, we will show you guys the real Yakub. But first, Jake, CFH, this is for you.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
And then Nadia, you didn't need to. You did. It means the world to me. I will show you guys. We actually caught Yakub in 4K.
Leon, Moxie, are y'all niggas happy? Y'all happy? You proud of yourself? I hope you niggas is happy. Congratulations to all the new single moms on the channel, but I just hope you niggas are just so happy with what you've done.
That is never
we're
going to get
descended
old.
from that. What?
That's never going to get old. Like
No, never. We yeah, you guys, we are all descended from that. At least all of us whitey in the chat here. Speaking of, let's see who's in the chat. Let's say hi. We got Luminous Anonymous saying me yowdy, ready and waiting. JR, how you doing? Jay Cinny is here. Horror with Nads. She just got her show right after this one. We'll be rating into it. Her monetization celebration. Boosh is here. AJ of the superior race that we are in fact descended from. So he is right now. He is the most important person in chat right now. Nosferatu the vampire saying fuck yes. How you doing, brother? Let's see who else we got. Alfredo Chorizo in the building. Twisted Jack, hail Yakub. That's right. You do your hails. Jake Mark for that $5. So happy right now, guys. Tinfoil haters, you good goddamn right. Oh my man, this is again. You just coming in. You don't need to. You do and. Here's how degenerate and evil white people are. This is how bad Yakub made us white people.
I'd fuck one of the robot dogs.
So yeah, it's no wonder that we're the scum of the earth. Philip Morgan, how you doing? Big Ship, Worgen and Lurpin, pump for another tinfoil haters. That's right, we bringing it back. Zax will be with us shortly. He's got some personal stuff he got to deal with first, and then he will be on the show. But you know what? I figure we need an introduction to Yakub, just kind of an idea of how this all came. Oh, go for it, Sammy. Go for it.
I was gonna say, I was like, let's not forget the guy who turned me on to Yakub at all, Nosferatu the vampire, is in the chat.
Nosferatu was the one that did that. Well, Nosferatu, you effectively made this show happen. Then, thank you so much. So yeah, this is I feel like this would be a good place to start. A little short, so 60 seconds, give or take, but just give you guys an idea of what we're dealing with here.
Fard Muhammad taught NOI members that over 6,000 years ago, black people lived in a paradise on earth. Best part about paradise? Everyone is black. Literally everyone. No white devils. Our inherently evil asses did not exist yet. And that is why it was paradise. We hadn't ruined shit yet. And then we did ruin everything. An evil scientist named Yakub, a man that NOI claims to be the biblical Jacob. Well, he destroyed this paradise by creating, quote, white devils through a process called, quote, grafting, some kind of magical form of selective breeding. Basically, you know how lots of breeding turned some wolves into Pomeranians eventually? That's us. That's white folk. We were once powerful wolves, aka black folk. But then we got way watered down and wussified and magicified. And, now we are two-legged Pomeranians. So why the fuck would Yakub do this? Well, it's an interesting story.
Why indeed? Why the fuck would Yakub do this? So, Sammy, this is yet another interesting thing that so often happens on this show that started in your neck of the woods. Why don't you tell us about that, my white devil brother?
This is I think one of the first things I said to you was like, this is peak wee wuzzery, but yes, when it comes right straight out of Detroit, Nation of Islam, mysterious figure, WD Fard, is who, as we discussed, isn't even a black man, was just like blacks are the superior race. And, Detroit's a real good town to say that in. Then, all of a sudden you got a bunch of other motherfuckers walking around wearing bow ties. But yeah, very mysterious guy. I think the FBI said he has 58 known aliases. If you could find a picture of him, he is an odd-looking guy.
I have a picture of him up. Give me one moment to. Here we go. Open this in.
They also claim that he was God, not the God, because in the teaching of Nation of Islam, the role of God kind of gets passed down. Yep.
Yeah, so there's like God. First of all, just so y'all know, in case you're not familiar with the Nation of Islam, the Nation of Islam is a black supremacist Islam group. If you ever heard Louis Farrakhan, if you're all into politics and stuff, Louis Farrakhan is the current leader of the Nation of Islam. So yes, they are effectively an Islamic cult that preaches black supremacy. And this is the guy, I guess his hair is black.
Yeah, a lot of people, we said this too. He looks to be either like Italian man or maybe something a little bit like Turkish,
or
Middle Eastern. Yeah, definitely not black. Even
Go,
oh yes, go please share.
So the leader, the Nation of Islam believers, state that the reason that he is not black, he actually is. He's black in his soul. Which makes sense. Soul, Motown, the whole nine, Detroit. Mm-hmm. However, he is of light skin complexion because he is a spy. He is able to infiltrate us white devils to spread this message. So he actually truly is black. February was the right time to cover this.
Undercover brother.
A literal undercover brother, yeah.
Yeah. But
so that is, WD Fard, Wallace Fard Muhammad, as he would go on to be called. So you want to start with him a little bit, go about his history, because I've got his history pulled up. If you, depending on what you know and whatnot.
So from what I can recall is, he also seemed to be a bit of a shiesty character, but they said the FBI had 15 different or 58 different aliases, bunch of different jobs, and all of a sudden he just kind of.
And by the way, nobody knows where he was born or where he came from.
No.
Like,
okay. Yeah. Here's a great one. So, people in the Nation of Islam, they say he was born in Mecca. Like if you ask the FBI, they're like, he was born in Portland, and then which kind of tracks because like I've never met anybody normal from Portland. But and then there's like a third one. I can't remember. There was a third group saying he was from somewhere. So like it's insane.
Louis Eugene Wolcott up there looking good. Who's Louis Eugene Wolcott? Hold on, you gotta figure because there's a joke that I'm sure.
That's Farrakhan. That's
That's
Farrakhan's
Farrakhan's real
right
name. Holy shit. Okay, that's Farrakhan's real name. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Pride.
Thank you.
Black brother. He also hates the Jews. We're gonna talk about that a little bit. Yep, that's just look at that. Thank you for letting me know that, William Richards. I've always just known him as Louis Farrakhan. But anyway, so yeah, he also, by the way, we don't know how he died or if he died or where he died, because if you ask the Nation of Islam, and we'll get into a quick thing about it between his life and his death, because there's some interesting stuff there before we actually get into Yakub. He was like arrested multiple times, set free, but basically just said, "You're annoying, get out of town," rather than like going through an actual trial and stuff. He would spend like little bits in jail, never went to prison or anything. And then he just up and disappeared, like just gone. And the Nation of Islam say that he actually ascended into the mothership, a planet-sized spaceship, to leave Earth and come back when the time is right for Yakub and the Nation of Islam to ascend and wipe out all of the white brothers and sisters that have made the world so foul.
Yeah, it all tracks. It all makes sense. You're not going to find holes in this story. It's perfect. By the way, if you're looking to avoid the authorities or any sort of accountability, start a religion, because there seems to be a pattern with this.
Work for this dude, work for L. Ron Hubbard. Didn't it work for Joseph Smith? I don't remember. Was he eventually hung? Either way, dude, at least I don't know if he was born in Portland, but that's where he started, was Portland, and he ran a food truck selling tamales. Now, there's this famous L. Ron Hubbard quote, which, by the way, is how we know Scientology is bullshit. Just a quick aside. If you ever want to make money, start a religion. That's where the money's at. And for Mr. Muhammad here, I imagine that selling tamales wasn't paying the bills. So, yeah, he moses his way on over to Detroit and sees a lot of racial injustice, because this is about 1930 or so. And Sammy, you want to take it from here? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, it wasn't great. Probably till about the late 1960s. In the late 1960s, we had something called the Long Hot Summer, also known as the Detroit racial riots. But yeah, there definitely was segregation and things like that. And most people
lynchings,
were probably
a lot of lynchings, according to Muhammad.
Yes.
In fact, there was parts of the newspaper in the 30s called "Lynchings of the Day." That was a section.
And
So
instead of people turning, like looking around and going, "Wow, this is insane. We really need to do something about this," he goes, "I'm going to capitalize on this," and start a religion. And so he was one of the big ones where he Black Pride. So he would encourage people to like abandon their slave name, things like that.
Their slave name being the Christian last name that we gave the slave. I mean, they were slaves, but like when he says abandon your slave name, he's also basically telling them to abandon their Christianity that was forced on them by the white man.
Yes. Then it would go full circle, and then they would be like, "We're the true Christians. We are the original Israelites." All that stuff. Like I said, all that wee-wuzzery kind of like stems from here. Now, so much you've gotten like TikTok where you got to like Napoleon Bonaparte. He was black, bro.
Yeah,
William Shakespeare
and Boleyn.
He was
Carthage,
black.
Hannibal, Carthage.
Yeah,
all straight, just strong black brothers. I'm starting to think that Netflix is on to something when they're doing all the race swapping and whatnot. Like, I think secretly the Nation of Islam, everyone's all like, "Oh, the Jews run Hollywood." I'm starting to wonder if maybe the Nation of Islam at least runs Netflix.
Wait, William Richards, guys, why are you skipping over his musical career? Did he have a musical career? There's so much mystery that shrouds this guy. I don't know if he had a musical. Like, I did
Does
not
he
know have a fire mixtape?
Career? Holy shit.
But while you're looking that up, I mean, we talked about like how did he convince Malcolm X, or even a guy. I wouldn't say that Farrakhan is a dumb guy. I just think he just hates white people.
Snake oil salesman, yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. But he had some major figures in the time following him. Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and then a little bit later Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I was like, that's quite the accomplishment to but then again I'm thinking about, you don't got a lot of that celebrities following like bullshit religions like this, and then Scientology immediately popped up in my head. It was like, never mind.
Maybe never. However, how many Mormon celebrities do you see? Like, not a lot of Mormon celebrities.
Not a lot of those guys running around.
Let's see.
But you don't have a lot of time when you have multiple wives. You got shit to do.
All roads lead to the tiny hats, which is why my hat is a big hat. But yeah, so Yakub, the actual story is that 6,600 years ago. Now, there's two variations of this story. We're going to give you the more normal one first, before we get into the better one. 6,600 years ago, Yakub started a process of basically wanting to expel the evil from the black race, which was the only race. He thought the only way that we could reach ascendancy, reach heaven, was for the duality of man, the good and evil, to fight one another. But to do that, you have to first expel the evil within you. So he starts doing this in Mecca, and the king, or whatever that leader is called, is like, hey, we don't like this shit, and they throw him in prison. But because he had
imams, they were called imams.
Imams, yes. Because he had amassed such a following, the king had gotten worried, and so the king says, "We will give you everything you want: food, transportation, blankets, and ship you off for you to do all your wacky hoodoo shit elsewhere." And Yakub takes all of his followers and says, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And while on the boat, he starts breeding with all the women. Yakub just become a fucking machine, just like motion of the ocean, baby. And whenever there was a dark-skinned black baby, throw that bitch in the water. Light-skinned baby, keep that shit. So by the time they reached their destination, 95% of his followers, of which there was like 16,000, say, yo, fuck you. You just killed a bunch of our children on the trip here. And Yakub was like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have my own race here in a little while anyway, which are all going to be my followers. So he continues fucking, and every 200 years, a new race is invented. So it goes first from the blacks to the Middle Easterners. After 200 years, he's fucked so much and lightened up the skin tone.
The order was, the original order is the original black, brown, red, yellow, and then eventually perfection.
Exactly. And for those that don't know, the black, brown being Middle Easterners, Arabian Nights, that sort of thing. The red are Indians, both 7-Eleven and teepee. Both Indians come from the set, and then after that you get Asian. And then finally after Asian you get white. It's kind of suspicious they leave Jew out of there. So yeah,
I don't know.
Black Israelites used to preach this nonsense by the Jews. It has me tagging news for not playing my link. We will get to it. We can't be blowing loads and stuff early. There are way more than two variations of this story. Well, right, but there's two that are amazing, and we only have an hour. So
yeah, there's my favorite is probably the second iteration we're going to cover, because I've never read a religious story where dynamite keeps playing such a prevalent role. The fucking it was just like, oh, dynamite again? All right.
So now the year is whatever 6,600 years ago would be.
Yeah.
And we officially have white people. This is the first time white people have graced the earth. So all the civilizations, all the great teachings and philosophy has all actually previously been done by our superior black brothers. And we are just here to spend the next several thousand years tearing it all apart, because we are an inherently evil race. Is the first version of the story the one where the white people actually lose and get put into caves? Or is that the second?
Yeah, and then we just stayed there for a while and we ate nothing but raw meat the whole time.
So Yakub had us basically attack the kingdom that he was exiled from. And after 20-ish years of fighting, we whiteys lose. We even though we are so evil, we are not good warriors, apparently. So we get pushed back and live in the caves for the next 2,000 years. But us living in caves is a great thing, because you know who else uses caves? Wolves. And we whites domesticate wolves, and that's how we get dogs, and dogs being man's best friend, which is why all these years later, when you see your dogs growl at black people, it actually checks out. It makes sense. We did that in our evilness.
And dogs actually didn't really start attacking the mailman again until Ted Kaczynski started mailing people dynamite. And you know, so it all goes, like I said, you're not going to find any holes in the story. It all goes full circle.
However, the one hole you will find is the Hollow Earth.
Oh, but yeah, that is in the second iteration, though. But yes, which is great because we wanted to tackle Hollow Earth one of these.
It's great because not only does the second version of this story. Well, let's wrap up the first version, and then we'll get into the second one. So yeah, we spend 2,000 years in caves domesticating wolves, and then we come out and effectively we have been taught what is the mystical
tricknology.
Tricknology, yes. We've spent ever since our inception by Yakub learning tricknology. Now, Sammy, can you explain tricknology?
Okay, to the best of my ability, tricknology is like basically this grandiose form of like lying and gaslighting and anything that will perpetuate the white race over the black race is tricknology. So you could argue that it's basically anything. It's like an art form, really. You know,
that's what I'm doing. Right, it is our evil white magic. It is.
Yeah, it's our evil white magic. You know, it's. I guess today, I guess mostly it would be statistical numbers. You know, that's what we use to hold people down. You know, per capita and all that jazz. And
it's amazing because, like, Hitler. Here's an example of tricknology. Us white people are so good at manipulation and lying and evil that you know, Hitler wanted to create the superior race, right? That's what he wanted to do. The Aryans, he wanted that was Yakub's plan already. He did that when creating us. So Hitler literally just aped Yakub's plan and used it to kill 6 million Jews. Like even the Holocaust was originally a black idea.
Yes. So we got to get to probably my favorite part in this story is eventually Moses, you know, one of the prophets, you know, recognizing all of.
Speaking of Moses,
Abraham,
part the Red Seas. Zax has joined us. Zax, assalamu alaikum, my evil white brother.
My faithful white ninjas. It is I, Yakub. But you may call me Massa.
He's here.
It is I.
We were talking about this backstage. Every time that we've tried to work out a time for you to be on the show, this is what you've been wanting to do, Yakub. And we had to put the show on hiatus for about a month and a half. How serendipitous is it that we come back during Black History Month? And Yakub,
this is the perfect time to talk about the Nation of Islam and their boy Yakub, or I guess Massa Yakub.
Massa, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sammy was about to explain the Moses portion. What's with all the mail makers on screen? Well, we're doing this in service to our you know, black brothers. Actually, AJ beat me until I said that we agreed to make this video. He kept me in one of his dog cages and was just vigorously spraying me with a water hose. But yeah, Sammy,
you know, no, but it's we're doing them a service because it's unfortunate that not a lot of white Americans, because of like historical discrepancies and racism, they don't really know where they come from. Like, you don't just walk up to a white guy and be like, "Hey, are you Italian?" He's like, "No, I'm a white American," because like they don't know. So we have to like explain that to them. You know, we're doing them a service. So anyway, so Moses was like, "Hey, I got an extend. I'm gonna extend an olive branch," and I was like, "I'm gonna teach these whites to cook and wear clothing." And eventually we were just so bad that he blew 300 of the worst ones up with dynamite. and that is the first time, but not the last time you will see dynamite in this religious explanation. And I don't know, it just made me laugh every single time.
Oh, now that our guest is here, yeah, hashtag white on white trichology. Zach, how did you find out about Yakub, and how does it factor into your belief system and how you live your core values?
Well, I think that first of all, I wanted to know the truth. I wanted to know how I was created. And Adam and Eve, I mean, that has a nice ring to it, but it's too simple of a story. And then I noticed people were talking about Japan and how Japan was founded like 20,000 years ago by Africans who were these amazing on these vessels exploring the world. And they were the seed population of Japan. And they spread from there and over the rest of the world until, well, our Lord Yakub decided that he needed something better, something stronger, something more powerful to push the universe forward. And eventually, he brought us the white demons. And we were made worse. Had to become like animals living in the Caucasus Mountains. Right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Eating.
That's where the word Caucasian comes from, is those mountains that we were thrown in. Yep.
All comes down from Yakub. Well, but
and you see these things throughout history too. Like, people always go like, how did Noah get all those people on the ark?
Right.
Every time I heard about the Garden of Eden, it never once mentioned the tribe of Shabazz. And I was like, and we know that's a thing. They're blackwashing white history. Yes.
Oh, speaking of washing, that was another thing we didn't do. We were uncivilized. We didn't wash to the point that when we emerged from the caves, apparently our nakedness was profoundly disruptive and disgusting to the natives, and that's why they gave us loincloths to wear. It honestly, it looked like a 1964 production about biography on Africa. It's amazing. Yakubian. So there's an alternate version of this story that, like Sammy was saying, involves dynamite. And it sort of
dynamite
relates to another episode we've done, because we've talked about the Anunnaki before, and I didn't know that the story of Yakub relates to the Anunnaki. Zach, have you heard about this?
I have, but did you explain to these dim-witted viewers about trichology?
We did, but if you have anything to add, yes, explain. You go for it. Give us your thoughts.
Very bare bones description, just so they could keep up.
Okay,
because we're dumb whites, so we don't understand trichology very well because we're inferior.
This is the process through which the white demons were formed. Was through trichology, and it's a mixture of technology and magic that only the great Yakub could master. And master it he did. Our Massa, great Massa, he mastered it to the point where he had to put Elijah Muhammad up in a spaceship before you lower beings even knew what that was. The Nation of Islam will rule forever. All hail Yakub.
So the spaceship is a great jumping off point for. So you had the Anunnaki who, due to nuclear war, I believe is the reason, their ozone layer was destroyed and they needed gold to repair it. And they thought, we don't have a lot of gold on our planet. So they start scouring the universe for gold, and they eventually find themselves on Earth. And they think, well, let's settle here because they have a hollow Earth with a sun inside of it where we can mine all the gold. Sammy, what happens after the hollow Earth is discovered? Because it gets pretty wide.
So these aliens, basically, they also had these. Well, in this theory, so I think it's like 17 million years ago or something, these aliens saw that the planet did have basic life on it, and they were like, well, let's aid this. So I think they start sleeping with the animals, and eventually our evolution happens, and then black people are made. And then, after that,
we have animals. We don't have gorillas yet. There's an interesting reason why we have gorillas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's important. That's important. Oh my god!
That.
Tell the world. I lost my beret.
Yeah, we're talking about animals. No gorillas yet.
So then it evolves into like a variety of different races, all of them black, mind you, but like different types. Some of them have cone heads, some of them have big heads, and there's these tribes. And then there eventually there's like a system of they're all they have like telekinesis and stuff. They can do all these things until Cain killed Abel, and then all of a sudden they were like, no, we got to remove that gland out of your pituitary. So that's why we no longer have telekinesis or anything. But anyways, these tribes eventually formed, and one of the Conehead tribes, their princess didn't want to sleep with their this other big head tribe, so they ran away to the surface earth, and then they had a child, and that child's name was Yakub. And
Zax, do you know what made Yakub so special at his birth?
The size of his enormous brain.
Yes,
2 brains. His head was so
Brains.
massive. He had 2 brains, which made him the ultimate genius. He was going to college. In fact, he went to every college,
Yes.
and passed every college with flying colors.
so much so,
Sorry,
so much so.
colors.
Do you know what his nickname was growing up? Big Head Yakub.
Wow.
Jake
not
Martin,
kidding,
remember
that's
3
in there.
months. I hate to be that guy, but this is making a lot of sense, chat.
Told you, man.
So yeah, Big Head Yakub is so his father, his biological father, which was the brother of the king that expelled them, was murdered by the king because he didn't like his brother was fucking around on his wife,
Right,
and
yeah.
he spared the wife. He allowed her to live, but she had to live on the surface. She was massively abused, and Yakub decided to turn his back and his massive forehead on his black brothers and sisters, and he thought, for what you did to my father and for all the oppression that I've gone through and that my mother's gone through, I'm gonna create this superior race. And yeah, we can continue from there. But Yakub at this point begins quite literally what might be the best evil genius scientist plan of all time. Doc Ock, get the fuck out of here. This is our ultimate mad genius.
Wow. This is it. Did you guys talk about some of the bleaching process?
The bleaching? No. Tell us about the bleaching process.
No, the bleaching process. please.
This was a dangerous part of the change they were taking from the great black peoples. The black mother would have a black baby. That baby would then be taken, and they were told that baby had died, but in fact, the baby was taken to be bleached. And over the years, they developed all of the different other races before they reached the pinnacle of the white race. There was the red that were bleached to be red, the yellow that were bleached to be yellow, and they were considered failures to, of course, the Yakubians, because that's not the perfect person. However, they still existed, and they were pushed to the side where they eventually overtook areas like Japan that had been, of course, founded by black Yakubians and their amazing ships. And
I fell for the propaganda because I thought they really did murder the babies. That's why we didn't bring the breeding, because I had said earlier they murdered them. So I didn't know about the bleaching process.
There's
If
a
they were
couple of
too
different
black.
stories, and by the way, this process is known as grafting.
grafting, yeah. This is so people don't want to tell the truth about this, but those babies didn't, like, if they were too black, of course they were killed. But if they were a little bit shaded properly, they would take them, they wouldn't kill them, they would use them to then breed again. And that's how you eventually grind it out and get those evil white demons. And Yakub himself had help. He had his offspring help continue the process for 6,000 years, something like that.
6,600 to be exact.
Wow.
Yes.
And until we get to Detroit in the 1930s, where again the origin point of the story. Jake, let's see, what was his name? William something Muhammad. William Fard Muhammad.
William Fard Muhammad.
Who again was born.
Yeah.
Was he born? I mean, he claims to be born in Mecca, and he's not black, guys. I gotta stress this enough. He's the ultimate infiltrator. The man that invented the Yakub mythos didn't invent anything. He's really just the reincarnation of what would be known as the end times, you know, and we are living in the end times right now.
They have that one picture that you showed, but like when you show his actual mugshot, I told you.
Oh,
like,
I was literally pulling up his mugshot right now.
He looks like Borat. Like
Have a picture.
he's like, I'm black. Like, you know, you're like, okay. That's the picture that everybody wants you to see.
Oh, okay.
You're like, oh, he could just be a light skinned brother. He's not a light skinned brother. It was like on the net. Yeah, it was like, all right, that's
Is that not Bugsy
that
Malone?
looks like my uncle Leo. Like, that is.
Yeah,
Oh,
he looks Italian to
I
me.
thought about that movie.
Yeah.
Ages. So yeah, he alleged. So one of the things that he was imprisoned for, and by imprisoned I mean they sent him to jail for a few days, then let him out and just said just fucking leave town, was coercing a married woman to run away with him. He was charged with basically inducing assault on a married woman, because we used to be a proper country where infidelity was quite literally a crime. Yeah, Yakub stream, you're exactly correct. Yeah, Borat. Looks kind of like Ted Raimi as well. So he decided after he assaulted the woman, which really woman was just a cheating slut. He ran away and invented his religion that now can be felt. I mean, really the world over. Zach, what are your thoughts on the modern day Nation of Islam? Do you have? Because I've got a short clip to play that I think really sums up why we should follow this religion, why everyone should follow this religion.
Well, I mean, Malcolm X, this was his religion. He believed in all of these things. And, there was a great movie starring Denzel Washington where he was Malcolm X. And so based on everything I saw in that movie, he did everything right. And so if he did everything right, then we should be following the right way, taking the right path, and believing what he believed, which was that Elijah Muhammad is in a spaceship. And and then you can go visit him from time to time.
Oh, here, Leon, I found a great picture.
All hail Louis Farrakhan.
This is Fard explaining beliefs to a group of police who arrested. He got arrested. So he's showing. Look at the look on his face right here, going like, it was like, I don't think this is a man you should be taken serious. It's like, and then Yakub came down on the spaceship, and black people.
Nas, go ahead and reshare your link. I will, for the first time ever, dare to click on a link you send. But before that, just so you know, this man we're about to see is a believer in Yakub. This is Louis Farrakhan, and this is a man that truly believes Yakub.
To be praised. To be praised.
The satanic Jews. They control everything and mostly everybody. If they are your enemy, then you must be somebody.
Okay.
The Jews are your enemy. You must be somebody. Sax, are you a somebody?
I wish I was. I want to be somebody. But so he has a difficult take at first to understand, but then you hear more celebrities like Nick Cannon explaining this, and you're like, oh, okay, this does make perfect sense, and we don't have souls after all.
Wait, is Nick Cannon a Nation of Islam believer? Really? No wonder he had so many kids. He's trying to make white people. He's picking up.
I thought he was a black Israelite.
Is he?
Yeah, there is a strange relationship there, right? Like the black Israelites does tie into this somehow.
Yeah, it's so like I said. So this is like patient zero of all weebuzzery. This is it was like, so now you're getting this weird. You get this weird overlap where blacks were the original Egyptians, but blacks were the original Israelites. So it was like, so did you guys enslave yourselves and build the pyramids?
Right.
What are we to expect here from that? I just
Well, what's interesting is what we did in the meantime, because in 20,000 years ago, we were in Japan founding that. And then we sat around for quite a long time, it seems like, and then eventually moved to Egypt. 4,000 years later? It'd be 16,000 years later. So for a long time, we were preparing ourselves for that journey north, I guess. And look what happened. We did it. We built the pyramids.
Thank God.
Okay, this is
one of ours.
This is from Nosferatu the Vampire. I think this is going to be incredibly educational. I have not seen this yet. We are learning about this for the first time right now. Let's go.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Oh, I know this.
trillion years ago, the tribe of Shabazz was the only surviving tribe of 13 that resided on Earth after a rogue scientist blew up the planet, splitting off the moon. Migrating to Egypt briefly, they would then settle in.
By the way, after learning about all this, Zax, do you now realize that Black Cleopatra was a true documentary, and that Netflix might actually be ran by the Nation of Islam?
Yeah, that lady's grandma was right.
She was, and who else would know better than someone's grandma? Like, she is connected right to the source, so she maybe was there. Who could say?
Yep, CFH 90. Yeah, blacks did everything. We stole it all. I thought giants built the pyramids. Well, it wasn't giants. It was just one dude with a giant head. And when you get so many years, things get lost in translation.
In the Islamic holy city of Mecca, developing a technologically advanced society. But a group of citizens led by Shabazz himself traveled to empty Central Africa to harden their group and develop features. The tribe is said to have reached its peak in the year 4084 BC, but Shabazz would not be the most famous member of the tribe. That honor goes to Yakub, the creator of the white race. Born in Mecca, Yakub was born with an extremely large head, which gave him unmatched intelligence, discovering the law of attraction from playing with magnets. He theorized.
Right, we didn't bring up the law of attraction. Zax, can you describe the law of attraction for us?
Oh, let me look for my notes here somewhere.
Oh yeah, because you're working on your book on this.
I am. I have a deal with Amazon. It's a one book, 4-picture deal. So I'm hoping that that this will finally rolling the word out, telling the truth, and who better than from a Canadian than to tell the rest of the world how they were founded.
Do you have an idea of your casting for Yakub first? This is going to be a 4-picture deal.
I was leaning towards Don Cheadle until Secret Invasion. Now I don't know. Maybe LeBron James. What do you think?
Yeah, LeBron would be. Yeah, that's a much better choice.
He's got a big enough head.
So the rules of attraction, you play with magnets to learn how magnets worked. And so people work the same way. And so he connected this by saying that unlike people would attract. So instead of having like people getting together, taking unlike people, you could then connect them together. That's what he said. He went to finished every college by 18. And then he started the system where he used the original black man to need a black germ and a brown germ. With the brown germ, the recessive one, he believed that he could separate them by grafting. That was the process of creating white people. So it's a long, slow, painful process, but our master did the work. So here we are.
Let's continue. It's so very educational.
He could create new people who could attract others with lies and deceit to rule over the original black man. Exhausting the knowledge of Meccan universities at age 18, Yakub discovered that a black man had a separate black and brown germ. With 59,999 followers, he went to the Isle of Pelan, modern-day Patmos.
Pause. So that's important to note. Then that is the law of attraction also, because he attracted a giant following, but also people who hated him and wanted him to fail, because you attract both.
The Isle of
William
Pelan.
Richards is just dropping knowledge in our chat right now. Thank you, brother.
He's an expert on this. William.
The blacks of the 13th lost tribe, Israel, and results blacks are God's chosen people. They're moderates relatively. It's Black History Month, William. Be cool. Yeah, 15,999 because Yakub, of course, is number 16,000. Racist spectrum gender is not. I like how Pelan looks suspiciously like the Mushroom Kingdom, showing one for all that Nintendo, the Japanese company, not actually ran by Japanese people, but again, more propaganda from the Yakubians. So,
Isle of Pelan, modern-day Patmos, establishing a dictatorial regime in which black traits were bred out through a eugenics program, in which blacker-skinned babies were killed, but lighter-skinned babies were allowed to live. After 200 years, he would create the brown race. Yakub would die at the age of 150 years old, but his followers could...
And to be fair, looked remarkably good for 150. This is where we get Black Don't Crack. It actually comes from Yakub himself.
Like I said, you're not going to find any holes in this story, man. It's insane how well it all works out.
Continued his work, eventually creating...
What was that, Dex?
You could sell that Yakub as a blow-up doll, I think. Like, make some money on that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be sort of like the George Floyd doll. Have you seen those?
No.
Okay, well, before we go further with this video, I got it because what people don't understand is that Saint Floyd was actually like one of the most devout prophets of Yakub, and as such, he has been immortalized in these toys, these dolls, which you can purchase for just the moderate amount of $49.99. The likeness is incredible. I'm pulling them up now. The website GeorgeFloydToysOfficial.com. This is official. You know it's real.
Yeah.
Come on, stop buffering and load for me here. Here we go. Checking your browser before accessing George. Oh no, it's checking my browser. I don't know if I like that. Here we go. So this is the official George Floyd dolls. Right here. Look at the size of that. I mean, this is some straight Yakubian. We can show how durable they are.
Здоров, чуваки.
Let's see. And in case we had to, because Yakubianism is all about separating the good and the evil. So you can also purchase the evil Derek Chauvin doll as well. That way you can truly have your collection.
Oh boy.
Were you aware of those, Sax? Did you know you could buy Saint Floyd dolls?
This is all new to me. This is a virgin to my eyes.
I didn't know about the Chauvin ones.
No.
I'm playing incredible. Yakub Saint, thank you for gracing us with your presence. We are trying to spread your message.
Hail Yakub in the chat. Saint Yakub, of course.
Massa.
Salam alaikum, my brother.
Races. Until after 600 years, the white race was born. The brutal conditions made this race evil by nature. Born with an innate desire to lie and murder black people, the white race would travel to Mecca, where they would wreak havoc and mayhem on the population. They were exiled to Europe, where Meccan soldiers would patrol the border to prevent the devils from crossing. The whites would further degenerate into barbarism, living naked and eating raw meat. A man named Moses would teach them to wear clothes.
Now that raw meat thing, not true. We also have a Liver King. Turns out he was a liar because, again, that's tricknology. Liver King was using tricknology and lying to us about raw meat when really he was taking HGH. So just know, more white devilry.
Absolutely. That's actually a trick that was passed down by us and on to these lower whites.
And they say white people didn't invent anything.
That's right. We didn't.
To civilize them. When he gave up, he blew up 300 of the worst white people with dynamite. The whites, however, had by this point learned.
Can I get a fact check on when dynamite was invented? Because I'm truly curious. Maybe this was actually obviously this was the thing.
Dynamite was invented by Alfred Nobel, but who the Nobel Prize is named after. It's a relatively recent. Yeah. It's a relatively recent invention.
It's just lost to history because, again, we whites wanted to cover it up since it was a black invention.
Technology, using trickery and lack of empathy to usurp power and enslave the black race, bringing the first slaves to America. Some whites realized they were evil and tried to go back to being black, but with nothing to go by, they...
Can't believe we forgot about this part.
Zach, I forgot about this part. Yes.
What happened to these silly whites?
Well, before we do that, I found this. This is actually kind of a secret photo, so I can share it with you guys only because you are brothers to me. And this is Alfred Nobel, and you'll be surprised to see. He did.
So he said 1867.
There you
go.
Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel.
Oh.
That's him.
Yeah, boy.
He invented dynamite. What am I supposed to say? He's an explosive dude. He black don't crack, so he's he's in his mid 40s here, or maybe 120.
I was about to say, what age would you clock him at?
You can't tell. How you tell me?
He looks remarkably good. I would imagine he hasn't reached 150 yet. I wouldn't think, but like he's probably getting close. So
yeah.
Thank you for all you've done for us, brother Flav.
So yes, what happened with these silly whites that decided they wanted to go back to their melanated roots? Do you recall?
There's some rumors and there's some people have spread lies about possible bestiality and degeneracy, but I don't believe that to be true. That's more black lies on top of black lives. And that we were only employed to be protectors for the great blacks. But as we know, they always knew we were evil, and we knew we were evil, but we could not go back to our true nature, except for some were good enough, were close enough, they could become gorillas. And that's the best they can get. And I applaud them for that. We all should.
It's true though. Like sometimes like I'll look in the mirror and just go, man, I really want to become a gorilla.
Yeah, that's actually the inspiration behind Disney's Tarzan. The old whites that wanted to be black again became gorillas, and they found this baby white, and because they reverted back to their blackness, albeit in gorilla form, they had such good enough hearts. They thought, we will take on this white devil baby and raise him as one of our own, and that's where we get Tarzan. So you'll be in my heart.
Blarzan. I was just gonna make a Phil Collins joke. You beat me to.
But listen, Elijah Muhammad, in his great wisdom, he attempted on his own to change some black people back, or white people back to black, and he failed. However, he created giraffes and other forms of monkeys with that technique.
Wait, giraffe? I missed the giraffes portion of this story.
Yeah.
Giraffes?
Yeah, I did not hear the giraffe thing.
Giraffes. Yeah, that was Elijah Muhammad. That wasn't Yakub. Yakub was, resetting somewhere. But this is Elijah Muhammad, and he created giraffes and other monkeys.
I must say, we
yellow
have
and brown
so much.
spots.
Yeah.
Like, do I have to explain that to you guys?
No, actually, and plus the long necks, because in Africa they do the whole like the net. That actually it makes a lot of sense. I'm learning so much today. We have so much to thank the black community for. You're right, Isaac. Hail. I don't know if we're hailing the same thing, but hail. Assalamu alaikum, my white devil brother. I don't even know if you're white actually.
And we also took the souls from the Asiatic peoples. We took their souls.
Do souls come out the eyes, and that's why they're like always closed now? Is that?
Yes, and that's why they're trying to protect them, but it's too late. They're gone.
Oh,
should have wore goggles.
Yeah.
Which goggles were invented by the black man? They were invented by Yakub's right-hand man.
See?
Muhammad, not to be confused with Muhammad.
Period of violence and misery. The white race, starting in 1914, would rule for 6,000 years until the original black people regained world dominance.
Well, so the white race's rule starts in 1914. We're only a little past, 100 years into that? Like, we got a solid 5,000 more years of us being on top, right? That's the way I'm understanding this?
Yeah, that's my takeaway as well.
Well, damn, what a good time to be a white person. Like, why do we even give you people of your month? Like, if we're in control, what do you need it for?
It's time to put your feet up, boys. We did it.
Fucking hey, dude, we're on top.
We did it.
Dominance. While white people would commit many atrocities, none would be more famous than the Finno-Korean Hyperwar, an event well documented on the Master of Frofulness channel. You can watch by clicking the link in the pinned comment and description below.
Thanks for the money, dummy.
Frofulness.
The ending's crazy.
That was honestly, that's a college course in of itself. That's you just in 2.5 minutes you got more than you will ever get at like Princeton. I know you showed it late, Zach, but frankly, I think we've kind of run the gamut on Yakub. I don't know if there's much more to say, unless anyone's got any like final thoughts or things they want to talk about in reference to the two-brained and mad lad that created the superior race.
Well, what I could say from my end is that this is a great example of how, we pay too much respect to other people's religions all the time, and some of them are just fucking crazy. And we should just because they're black and they wear cool suits and sunglasses and fun hats, like it's not necessarily that they're correct, in that us pointing out that what they believe to be strange is not racist, because I'm Canadian. So I like
you guys
that.
can't be racist up there.
We can't be. Our prime minister is blackface, so what are you gonna do to us? Nothing. We started it.
Although I gotta say, CFH90 brings up a good point, because Harambe was a gorilla. So in all reality, he was a white individual that did revert back to his native blackness. So Harambe deserves more respect than I ever gave him. I need to look back at the last few years of my life and kind of just repent for my actions. Core message, they was Kangs. We perfected it. Yeah, this is Scientology. It's amazing. This is Scientology for my more melanated brothers. It is an amazing rabbit hole. Guy, as much as we were making jokes about this tonight, this is part of the Nation of Islam. Like, this is actually believed by a relatively large portion of, I don't know, how big is the Nation of Islam? Anybody know?
Okay, well, someone made a comment about the Klan, saying it was like, the Ku Klux Klan is a relatively like small group these days. Like, it's not huge. Right. Yeah, the Nation of Islam is more than like double or triple the size of the
at least in 2000,
it is classified as a hate group, though.
Nice.
Oh, are they really? Okay, that's good. What I see here is that there currently has an estimated number of 35,000 members, and then in like 2017 there was only 11,000 card-carrying KKK members. So yeah, it would triple the KKK. So in all reality, there's some superiority there. They went to war. I bet the Nation of Islam will win.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I see 50,000.
And they can see better because they don't have to wear the hoods. They just have to wear bow ties.
Sunglasses, yeah, and bow ties.
Let's see. Yeah, it might be 50,000. It very well could have gone up. Although, to be fair, Nation of Islam is like only black people, right? Like do you have to be black to join?
Yeah.
You can't KKK. I think you just have to not be black, but I could be wrong.
You have to. You have to be something. Yeah, I think you have to be like Protestant white. But I think they expanded their borders after a while. They're like, all right, we'll let the Irish in too. Yeah, I think, but they said that indoctrination is on the rise due to like misinformation going around with like TikTok and like AI pictures and things like that, where they're seeing like, oh my God, the original royal family of England was actually black, and it was like clearly that says Grok in the corner. But it's enough to have people buy into this whole charade. And
these look like serious people. These are serious people. They look like serious people who have a serious belief, and they do, but it's in something incredibly wacky. Like, what it's like, and they're like, this is not an inside joke. Like, a lot of people for the Proud Boys was a joke, right? Like, that whole thing was a joke.
Yeah, it literally started off with a collection of dudes who like, we're not gonna jerk off so that we want to fuck our wives.
Yeah,
like that was how the Proud Boys started.
Yeah, it was to troll Antifa was really the.
But these guys are like, this is what they're walking in those lines thinking about going up on the spaceship to see Elijah Muhammad with Louis Farrakhan because they believe he still goes and sees him. Like, that's where they're at. It's scary shit, really.
Well, and if I recall, there was like when I was reading, it stated that there was one member of the Nation of Islam, like one leader of the Nation of Islam, that found the Yakub story to be ridiculous. He sort of disbanded it, and then it got reintroduced in like the 60s or the 80s or something. And even Malcolm X gave up on it right before his death. Me and Sammy were talking about that backstage.
It was Louis Farrakhan who brought it back.
What was it? It was Louis Farrakhan himself? Okay, I didn't know it was the one before him. Or
that feels like a very Farrakhan-y thing to do. Classic Farrakhan.
It's like, silly so cool. You can just hate Jews and be normal about it. Don't be weird.
Yeah.
You don't need to be adding spaceships into your anti-Semitism. Hitler didn't have spaceships. He just good old-fashioned gas chambers.
He's like, let me see you one.
Which sounds like a name that would be on a spaceship. Says happy birthday, R2. R2 Lee 2. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, brother. Truly appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
You don't believe it all at once. That'd be absurd. You believe it a bite at a time. To be Farrakhan, he's a psychopath. Guys, we're going to raid into Nadia. It is her monetization stream. Nadia, after a year of hard work and grind and being a part of so many panels and her own show and interviewing directors, she finally got monetized last month. So we're all going to go over there. We're going to celebrate with her. We're going to donate. I'll be on in about an hour. She's going to have a rotating panel of all of her closest friends and frenemies. Zax, I think you'll be there as well. So I guess nothing left to do but round out the show real quick. Guys, just after it's over, stick around. This stream will auto direct to Nadia. Make sure you give her your support. She is amazing. Yeah, this was an hour of fun, but Nadia deserves anything and everything that we can give her. So stick around. The stream will auto direct. Zax, what you got coming up, brother?
Tomorrow night, premature ejection, 9:00 Central. It's gonna be fun.
Fuck yeah.
It'll be fun.
With Flux. House of Flux joining for the first time, I heard.
Yes, House of Flux joining. We have a stacked panel actually tomorrow, so it is going to be a fantastic ejection all over the place.
It's gonna eject all over the chat's face.
Yes.
Sammy, what about you? What do you got coming up?
You know what? I just have Roman's show on Thursday, and then of course my new show on Sunday if we decide to do that, because there's a pretty big football game going. But fuck it, I hope both teams lose. So
Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Red Kingdom.
Go Lions.
And then last but not least, you got me. I will also be on Premature Ejection tomorrow, but prior to that, we'll be on Gooch's show reviewing The Empire Strikes Back, arguably the greatest sequel of all time, although I do think the Terminator 2 Judgment Day is in that conversation as well. But one of those two, greatest sequel of all time. And then stay on the lookout for my channel, Neon Leon, on Friday with Boxing Moxie as my guest. And all in all, it's just going to be a good, fun, packed week. Check out my video about Corrine Bush being hired by Wizards of the Coast today. That video fucking bombed. But I would appreciate if you guys checked it out, because it is something very near and dear to my heart, my evil white heart. Anything else for you? Oh, and of course, thank you everybody who donated, chatted, the whole nine. You didn't need to. Truly appreciate it. Tinfoil Haters is back, baby. We're going to be doing this on Tuesdays. You'll love to see it. And then we will continue to raid into Nadia. So beyond that, you didn't need to. You did. It warms my cold black white heart. Anything else from my evil white brothers before we hit end stream?
Nope. No. If you want to click on my channel, please like and subscribe to that. I am starting my own bow tie shop to help spread awareness.
All right, guys, make sure you go show Nadia love. She's literally starting right now. And until then, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.